welcome to my channel. And I'm Sonali. I'm 23 today, and it's November 14th. It's Children's Day, and I'm recording this video precisely because I have been feeling so anxious for a while. But after spending a whole year trying to find out who the person I am, what my dreams looks like, and after officially taking an adult gap year, I'm here to actually give you a reality check. We will say all the unthinkable things I do today to actually feel somewhat 1% better. It does not really count a lot when you're talking of in percentile, but it just makes me somewhat better. And I will also list the list of things or the red flags I did, like I have officially gotten over. But obviously, it's in the art of progress, and I'm a human, and I'm bound to make mistakes. But that doesn't stop me to actually aim for perfection, which is like really trying to be the good person inside me. Don't mind me, my voice and everything, because yesterday I had a great cry, approximately around 2 a.m. and I slept around that, and I woke up around 7. And I think it's also because I'm on my period, so maybe some of the symptoms are basically like that. But I don't wanna take you on the situational based. So here goes nothing. Number one thing is that if you don't know me, I'll officially introduce myself again. I'm Sonali, I'm 23. On October 28, 2002, I was born, and I was officially the one of the smartest kid I could say. I was a topper in my high school and yet another good person. Inside, I have realized one thing, that I'm actually a very good person. And that really does explain that I really have really great issues when it comes to dealing with people. I'm not able to communicate well when it's not my language, or not my people, that I flicker and I really eat up my words when I'm holding a conversation with someone new. These days I find myself being so anxiously involved, maybe precisely because I don't really hold real conversation with the people these days. The only conversation I hold uh, over the past year, maybe through the phone call, it had been once or twice that it surpassed the 15-20 minutes. But it was always my parents or like my family member. And one thing about me is that I always grew up not living with my family, because I was always a hostler. And since I was 8, till I was 18, 19, 21, 22, I've always had this on and off situations where I have to really go out for the study and come out on occasional events. Now it has been almost an year since living with my mom and my brother and my sister, like residing in my home, because last year in October 2024, I officially was taken my internship and had done my internship, and then I came back because I was so exhausted of with all the study and everything, and I officially thought that, oh, I'll just get a new job and get going. But turns out that that time I knew that I really wanted to create over this videos, because I love YouTube. I am not like I didn't want to be an influencer. I don't like the name when they call it, but I just wanted to create videos because I love videos in general. And that explains that in 1 year I have watched tons of shows or videos or movies, let's just say, so which really shapes me what I am today, because I'm forgetting the term, but I'm not a very reader kind of personality, but I learn a lot from people lives, the videos, or like contents and everything. And everything I know today, what I can just talk about, maybe my English and everything, has been improved by watching variety of shows. So that's the number one thing, is like your feed really customize your thinking today, and that is so normal. So that's number one point, because it's so much important what you are actually being on or binge upon. Because I cannot even think of, like, I will just share one incident, that I love K-dramas and Chinese dramas, any shows which is so deeply involved with the character's life. And forgetting the Bollywood things, there are few of the Bollywood cinematics which I also love, because I love a sweet romance 90s Bollywood vibes as well. But I majorly vibe on the dramas recently. And I was constantly juggling and having this one time where I was watching Penthouse, I was watching The Marriage, The Perfect Marriage. I was also watching. So these were all the adulterism or like watches where it shows the revenge, it shows the sin, like society, money, responsibilities, and all these things, which is a very top tier dramas if you say, and it really drains you. So that time I was constantly very, have this self-awareness of like where I was. And some of the watches like Penthouse I watched in 2021, and I remember that I was kind of going dark with my thoughts. I was holding this very serious talk, which is so true when I actually watch any, let's just say, Twinkling Watermelon. This is a K-drama. There's another K-drama which is like fly towards you. Like these are the soft romance dramas. I feel so good. Like I feel so good. There's one drama I'm hooked recently. It is Dear X, and it's again a very psychopath. But again, there's sociology involved. There's manipulation involved. There's everything. So it just really makes you like get hooked so much, and you realize as a person how intelligent you are. I don't know if it's how much it's true for you, but I always felt a little drawn to the characters of K dramas, because I am kind of person who kind of lives with the videos. So that's number one. So that's why it's very important to what the things that you're consuming and everything. That's why I always have this better plan, where if I could not, for the love of God, make a video, and I have this notion where I can just like not write about it, or like in my journal, if I could not see in my words, I will say that it didn't actually had impacted me in a good way. So that's number one. Number two, which I have realized as a red flag as well inside me, is that I cannot replace people in my life. Like I always had this urge to keep everything intact, keep, like build, like I'm a sculpture and I'm just designing the people and life and everything. I love to go with the flow, like planned flow. Like I should know what's coming next, which is so next to impossible, because if I take a revamp, it's November, and if I just literally have one thing to describe as 2025, it's like I don't know what's gonna happen next. Like this has been my year, because you can say that, oh, so now you just do a little, little chunks of what you want, but basically this whole year was that I don't know what to do, and I was just like, like a little born kid who was just told that you should go this, you should do this, you should do that. And I did that with myself. I did everything which I wanted to do at that exact moment. If it was just helping my mom to the kitchen, I did that. If it was just learning how to cook the certain recipes from my mom, I did it. If it was to actually move to Delhi and live with my apartment of my sister for the next 3 months, I did it. If it was just like making a cooking series on Instagram, I did it. If it was like creating all these videos on YouTube, which probably I don't know where it has take, but I did it. So because I did all the unthinkables, now I know that I don't fear this. Like I don't fear the new start, which was a red flag back then, because I used to think that, oh, there's a lot. I'm like very distracted human being who loves to do this one, this thing, this that, and this thing, which is not so normal. Because a lot of people go with the flow. They have strategies, they have plans, they have like weekends plan, they have weekdays plan. Because I feel so off in conversation, and I was like, it was my birthday, I was actually having a conversation with my friend, and they had someone to that they disappointed them. They just said the manager issue was there. For some, there was the team issue. There was a junior of me who was kind of going through the placement season, so she was feeling anxious about like, will she get placed or not. And my issues were different from them, and that's when I realized that it's so much important to actually do the unthinkables, because now you know yourself much better. Like I know where I suck, I know what works, I know what does not work. So I know I have done every single thing which I thought, wow, that's will I'll do this thing kind of thing. So just think, which is so okay. And I really took the very non-traditional approach of just quitting a job, not earning anything, and doing it. If I have done anything like that, I think I will have more respect in the eyes of others. But I don't. I'm in the eyes of me, and that's a red flag, because even after doing a lot of things, I still feel like I've done nothing, because I've never really felt grateful about how far I always go. I have always felt anxious of how less I could deliver, which is a red flag in me. And I don't know if it's like about the getting the perfect person or being the perfect person in the room, or it's just about like being someone who just knows herself. Because I don't wanna be dumb when there's a question about like, tell me about yourself. I wanna speak, and not just for an interview, not just for the plot, but actually for actually defining a book. So because I have also tried writing book, there got nothing. Okay. Number three, I have really realized is the people. I, for the love of God, like I said, I breathe when it comes to people. Like I really love people in my life. I really respect, and I feel so grateful about the times when I have been protected so well from my people. Even I'll share a couple of incidents. Whenever, like right now I'm not earning, I have zero earning streams right now. And when my brother even holds any conversation, because he like takes care of my father's business. If you don't know, I lost my father in 2022 in Jan. So since then, my brother has taken over the business, and all of my sisters are earning. The elder ones are earning. The younger one is like not earning, but she have earned enough money. And so yeah, like people above me are doing well. They're doing well. People under me, they're in high school and college, and they're doing well as well. Precisely not well, but they are actually doing something which can they share about. There's me who's making this video. Now, this another analogy when it comes to people is that whenever I have heard people belittle myself and always asking me why you do it, I have a ton of reasons I can just deliver. But when it comes to people who never really care to understand my side of story and have a judgment to say that, you know what, you should do that only, and that's where I get the ick. I have realized this over the past year is that asking for help is not a bad thing when it comes to people. And if even after asking they are not able to deliver the good result, it's also not bad thing that if you are trying to replace them, or you're trying to not have any longer bond with them, because it shows their progress of development, or just a mind, or anything about it. It just shows about themselves. It's not, it doesn't show about you. It does not show about you. If they are not able to do anything well for you, it just shows that they are not able to do it. It's actually that simple. I have wasted my a lot of years from the last 3-4 years, because I was very emotionally involved with some people in my life, very emotionally, and I always say this, that I will remember them maybe for the longest, because they had been when I was very emotional, and I think there's never gonna be in my life where I'm this emotional and I have so much time to ponder my thoughts around the people and the circumstances and everything. So when I say that I know my people, I say it because I know which type of conversation I can hold, which kind of group, which is not a hate, by the way, which is not like I don't trust you 100%. No, I do trust you that you are gonna be 100% like that, what I think, which is again a red flag if you ask me, because I can't go way and beyond to explain why it's like that, because it might hurt other person. But I can like can't go, so that's like somewhere defines the progress, or you can just say that I don't, which does really explain that I don't have a best friend, I don't have a romantic partner or something like that for now. So that's number three. Number four is literally about following your passion. When I uh, was in my college and I really wanted to do this creator thing, making videos and everything, and everyone knew, because my goal was very clear, that 99% of the time I used to feel so like FOMO if someone was doing something which I love, like going to Korea, taking the business trip, working with the brands, making the video, having this podcast. I get that FOMO. because they were actually like driven by their own passion. They were doing something they love. Even the days, like, when they share the story, I created FOMO. Now when people get the job, the people who are going to like doing this and that, I don't get FOMO from that. And that's where I knew that I'm way more passionate about what I do today, which is this: creating video, interacting with you, working on myself, working straightly upon my life, and seeing where it all goes when I just 100% surrender of what I do, and I really, really do all the hard work, because I'm not scared of hard work. Okay, I'll explain this another point, but is this for now? Just keep it. Okay. So when I really wanted to do it, there were people who supported me, but they're not no longer in my contact list. Why? Because I have always felt cringe while posting it on Instagram. That's why I always do it on YouTube. But I also do it because you don't make money on Instagram that easily, and I don't wanna be really vocal. I wanna be like somewhat get the concept of it on YouTube, because I felt more driven on YouTube, because that YouTube was the very first time I really saw what it girl is, what vlogs are, because I love vlogs. I love YouTube a lot. It just does not really take care of the fact of Instagram, because I still see Instagram as one of the social media, but YouTube as me. So that explains the point of like why I make more YouTube videos than Instagram. But the point of passionate is that I was just having this one conversation with my friend. It's not just because it happened on 28th October on my birthday, and I was so ready to not hold up a conversation. But something inside of me was to really, get a check of how healed I am, which is again, you can say a red flag that you can use people to see, but you can use the surrounding to see that it fits or not. And surrounding does involve the people, okay, because people do have their auras, do have their, like characteristic, which actually make the energy of the room so seen. Okay, so I was having this one conversation with two of my friends who were really, really great supporters in my college years, and they had really taken, maybe I don't know why they said it, but some of them really thought that I was getting married. I was just like, depressed and everything. But none of them said that, because it wasn't visible on Instagram, or it wasn't, because a lot of people, no one knows that I make YouTube. My sister just speaks through my phone, and she knows that I does one, and she's one of the subscriber today. But a lot of people don't know it. Okay, and that's one of the reasons that I always wanted to keep it hidden, because I am a player when it comes to speaking to a host, and not literally, but literally having a ghost routine where someone just comes to me and says like, oh, it's an overnight success. I really want that in my life, because I don't want to share the things of unthinkables, like, because I don't feel hurt while seeing, but it's fear that if someone says who's so close and dear to me, and I have to ponder and take that, like, and they can say that obviously it's a suggestion, take that suggestion, and I have to really ponder, and it maybe influence me to not do it what I love. I don't know how to explain this, but actually hiding myself in my room and making this video, which is a way of not hiding myself. A lot of people can't really recognize why I say this. Some might feel pity, some might, maybe the moment I have got in the life, I'm like, oh, this is the moment I realize that, oh, I have done something really magical in my 20s. And if I really relook at someone just talks about this video playing, I think I will be so much happy to hear that how far you have come, or how strongly you held upon yourself, rather than sharing it to people who are not able to see it right now, or not able to feel what I feel for every single video I upload, because I feel so better. I'm such an overthinker as well. So I really have this line which I love about passion, is that follow your passion no matter what. Follow it strategically, and you should worship your desire to achieve that dream. But you should not make it an idol that you always want others to make go and, like, have them worship, because like a deity everyone loves, because even I will make a statue of, like, have something related to Shivji or this is Hanumanji. I love like how people, like, have their own sides of devotion towards the deity. So I don't want my passion to be like God there, and someone actually looks up in awe and be like, oh my God, you're so amazing. I don't want to hear it today. I don't want to hear it today. I love a strong, passionate advice someone can give me about like how you can heal, how can you do this, how can you do that. But I'll do it on my own. Okay? And that's about the thing about passion I like. That I want it to be worship when it's done. And I really don't say it when it's in progress. Because for me, if it's like I can see a light outside of all this progress videos, and I do imagine a time where it all just gets right into place. I can't care to explain you that the moment you explain what your feelings are to other people, the less vulnerable it feels, and the more uh, like poetic or less poetic it gets, and more understandable concept it gets. Because I will say one thing I have realized about dream and the passion, the difference between why you should always have this grit inside of you to just go on and have literally no one have in your favor. It's such a strong commitment, because when you're trying to go for passion, not everyone goes for it. Not everyone I know, not a single person I know is doing this, that they are quitting their jobs and they're not earning well, but they have this desire to actually be on social media or like making this YouTube, and they're so happy because they're there. Because I can only feel that happiness if I die today, let's just say I will die passionately today. Then to actually the point where someone have followed my idea, and if I would have shared this idea of passion to someone and they have like gone lens, and even if I'm gone today, they will always speak about like she was so passionate, she was so passionate, she was sharing like this, she was so sharing like this. I will not feel that great even after gone. I do feel like that. So that's the thing about passion, that you can worship your dreams, you can worship your amount of efforts you put in, but you should not ever, for the love of God, should think that your passion is a form of deity there who is available and will be worshipped by other people. Because it's your passion, it's your dream, you say it, so you have to make it happen to let others say it. Oh, there was this form of things you can do, and if they appreciate it, that's a right thing to have. If they don't, then it's already done. You can't like go back and be like, oh, you said it's done, so I will just go back and don't do it. It doesn't make sense. So when you're passionate driven, when you are like so much aware of what you want to do or what you don't want to do, just be like a horse and just go. Like, even if they hurt you, because yesterday only I cried because I could not come up with a great excuse, because there was this one engineer brother, cousin brother, who's earning, did a whole research, and probably I think he was earning something around 50 to 60 lakh per annum in he's in Malaysia, so he might have a savings like that. So the maximum we're talking about, okay, 50 to 60 lakhs per annum, which is a great amount. If you ask me, 40 to 50 to 60 lakh about someone who is in the career for 8 to 9 to 10 years, again, great concept, okay. But I was never even emphasized on the fact that I could not fight back, not just because I don't want it to do rude. It wasn't done. I was not involved in that conversation. My younger sister was involved. The fact that I felt so belittled was that I could not uh, explain why I can earn more than him. I could not explain why I could do it, because it's not physical right now in my hands here. Okay. Second, I was not in the conversation, so I, for the love of God, don't see myself being so lifted by the words of others. I only see myself being lifted by the circumstances I live in. Okay, because nothing could more passionately make you go all for it. If you are broke, if you are in 23, you turned to be a overweight person, and you have a desire, and you wake up every single day knowing that I will go in a room with this a lot of sunshine. My bedroom is gonna be different next month. My wardrobe is gonna be different next month. My curtains are gonna be different. So you wake up with all these desires of wanting to get you to the best by not treating others like shit. And that's the lesson number 4, which is like understanding the life you wanna live in and making it so much valuable to yourself so that it really becomes your personal quote of the day, which is like, this is my life. That's the only code you have to follow, or it's me. That's me. Because when I say hi, it's me, I'm Sonali, I always emphasize to that girl who was 8 years old, who had this crazy ass idea, and who have always fighting in her head to just know what I wanna do, why I wanna be there, why I wanna be extra successful, why I wanna make shit ton of money, why I should be the unthinkable person and the real goat of the family. So it's not about revenge. It's not about making people bad. And having the right intent, like Virat Kohli said, that there's nothing wrong with doing anything. Yet you can do anything, but the intent has to be good. And I cannot emphasize enough. The more you get hurt about your financial or emotional or personal love story or personal life happening, the more desire you get to actually have a revenge for others and having revenge for others, making plot, making this, and having others seeing like below you, is the time where you are actually in a loop where you can't go on. The only way to escape that loop is to actually know, be aware that every single day you are drifting away the time where you was this broken and you thought you would never make it after that day, but you are here, and you should absolutely admire the journey you have been. And I have the biggest red flag, and that is the less admiration and more acceptance. Because I could not emphasize it enough that the more I have tried to accept someone's reaction or the drama they create in my life, the less acceptance I was at my journey, the less happy I was in the journey. Yet I was doing everything. Yet I was having my chia seeds water, I have my olive oil greased salad, I was having my workouts, but I was still not happy. Why? Because I was constantly thinking that maybe I was not making other people happy, which I forgot was not my desire, was not my number one take. Because why would I take care of someone if they are hurting me, that I'm making them happy? The biggest regret is to actually waiting of people to, like, who have either cut off or who have done me wrong, is to actually wait, are they doing well, did they get the flavor of their own mistakes? That was my number one desire, to wait for the things to happen while not being the best ultimate self, because that's literally serving them and giving them more time that and more resources that they can be like, you know what, even after doing all these things, you're still there. And that's the number one craziest thing that you can do, is actually thinking about a revenge. There's nothing like a good revenge that actually living a life of your dream, having a really good face card which never declines. I said what I said, and that means everything. Another one, and I'm not giving tabs, but it's level number 5, and this is the time where I always share why it's so important to sleep when you have unthinkables 9 p.m. I'm a different kind of person. I have felt so different for over the past 5 years, because in my COVID years, I was that one of the person who was constantly once on our phone. That's the reason I never made to do gym. I can vouch that if I had done more, I would have gone it. Will I have been happiest? No, because I didn't know what life is there. I made a choice, and the choice is now unbearable because I have done my graduation as well. So it's non-reversible right now. The only reversible thing I can do is that I can make sure why I did not choose it, because at that time I was binge watching all the shows. I was binge watching, and I'm trying to know YouTube, because that was the first time I got my own YouTube like head of what algorithm is like, what I was listening those words and I was breathing them like an oxygen. So this goes nothing. Now I was the kind of person who was very first time in my life became a night person, night owl, and used to sleep around 8 a.m. or 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or 7 a.m. because I had literally nothing to do. And even in those time from March of 2020 when the COVID hit, literally, to the point of my getting acceptance to my college, which was around December, I did almost nothing. Nothing. I just gained weight, I ate, I did everything. Yet I was the funniest, I was the coolest because I had people who made me feel like that I was cool. They're not with me anymore. Spoiler alert. Yet I feel the coolest. I'd never been told that I was cool because obviously they're not ones to tell me that if I'm cool or not. This is only me who I saw on that journey. Fast forward to now, I still watch shows, not gonna lie. I'm still hooked. There's something like that's number one I covered that I learned a lot from there. A lot of my vocals, a lot of my thought process comes in. So I am so much driven by the concepts of like what you should watch it, why whatever you feed to your brain comes out from your mouth. I'm so vocal about that if it goes here, you should come right here. And if you don't make a filter in your head, you will just not understand why you were watching this. And that's the creative log, or use some blog, or you can just say, feeding your ADHD brain, something like that. And one thing which I actually love about it, through all the journey of me being a night person to loving to be a morning person and actually doing something about my sleep routine, is that I have replaced people with my hours of sleep. Yesterday was one of the most difficult days, and it's one of the most common days which I always have in 1 month. And I've by far, always tried to hold up a conversation, yet I could not because I was just like constantly having it, and I just prayed to God, which is so unreal because I usually don't do it. But I just prayed to God saying that why I don't think that they deserve me, or the person I was trying to have a conversation deserve me, because I just wanted a confirmation. So I just slept with a desire that if I'd have a lot of things going on, I will just create a video on it, because I will be able to talk my thoughts to the video and hopefully it finds the right person who needs it. But even if it doesn't, I have done my job. So for that, I don't need the people. And that was my biggest red flag, because I really thought that everyone on the phone is ready to listen to my thought, which is maybe was sweet. Maybe they were doing it for the plot. Maybe they were actually trying to be a good friend. But a lot of them were doing it just because they had slightly good crush on me and they had also nothing to do. Now they have found their purpose in life, and I know that their purpose does not serve with my own, and they no longer show me good in any way. Like they don't broaden my idea of self transparency, they don't I broaden the idea of what I am, and they literally, even if the darkest nights or the gloomiest days, I can't turn up to them and have this feeling that oh they will make it better. So it's a sign that I outgrew them, or they had their own stamina there, and I maybe outgrew them, or maybe I'm not meant for them. It's as simple as that. Okay, but the fact that I could just deliver it and have no conversation yet, I've woke up with actually feeling not so okay, because if you have gone to sleep while crying and you wake up, you have this not so good time where you just want to have all the conversation and you can smile. Yet I woke up because today's Children's Day, and it's all the children who actually feels like a child when they're 21, 22, 23. Because yesterday only I saw this quote which said that when you're 22, 22, 23, you're basically 1, 2, 3 years old. You're not 21, 21, 23, which is so much care, because if you talk about the journey of like this whole year, I feel like a 1 year old who is trying to find which play schools will find me better, aka my content, who's trying to fit in like any other classmates would, like who's stable, who bring the most beautiful lunch today, who has this thing today, who has this thing today. And I feel so by the way, I feel so pretty today. I don't know why. That's why I'm just like, pausing the moment to just find myself, because I feel so pretty. Okay, so yeah, I feel like a high school, like kindergarten student who does not know, and who's waiting for their teacher to arrive and be like, you know what, I want, I know what you wanna do. You have this blockages, and this time my teacher is literally it's a god, because I can, I could not vouch. And it's funny. This is the bonus point. Is like my relationship with God has improved so significantly. Whenever, I don't know, I always take God as someone who is here, and I actually treat him like the, how do I explain this? This term really going viral. That is that non. What's the term? I forget that term name. Which is like not bougie friendship. Like you have these friends who are really free, not free. Oh, what's the term? Not high maintenance and low maintenance. I treat God as a low maintenance friend of me, who I will just like ignore and just like, I will just say that it's only because of you. You asked for the plot. You did that. Why you could not deliver it? Why you could not deliver it? Or why is this taking so long? Every single time. And I also made a pact with me, just like having this conversation around every single time, which is not a very intuitive side of me, and I feel like a kid doing it. I don't know if anyone of you do it, but I, for the love of God, always treated God as someone who I'm always mad, but at the same time I'm always in awe, like how he does something very amazing the very next minute. Like I don't even know, but the most unthinkable way he will do it, and I don't understand why he did it. Because every single time I've tried about the people, and I can just say, I can categorize them in toxic people. There was a time where I didn't believe my ears and eyes that they were toxic, because when God was trying to remove them, or like I literally, because they was not just taking this and doing this, I literally from my mouth spoke that you are a red flag and have them kicked out from my life. And when I did it, I felt such a bad person, and I was, for the next day I remember that I was like literally crying because I said that, because I said it, because I thought that maybe I did a mistake. Not today, I just remember that I was right. I mean, God was right, and I'm at the right position at the right time. So that's a bonus point right there. Also, I think that's it. That's it for the video. I think these are the major things which actually holds me, and these are the sudden loops which I was in my brain every single time. So these are the last 5-6 things which I wanted to share. Why I think it's important, and who I think it is important for, is someone who's trying to understand how to beat up the two voices inside your head, which is A, who is not okay to be understood, and B, who is so okay to be forgotten. I have this always desire of, like, the worst thing which I always say to myself is that I don't know what to do. And the best thing I always say to myself today as well, that I can create a video on it. And that's the two different person who is speaking it. And I'm not talking about the disorders and anything. I'm just talking about the will and desire to be and keep doing the work, and a will of desire of maybe doing it tomorrow. So there's a choice you always make. And if you're someone in between, I hope this video finds you well and you have a little bit of clarity of what it's like with fighting, what's it like to being in the process, what it's like to actually be so vulnerable and be so known and outspoken on your own thoughts that you actually don't have any uncertainty or like desire to actually be people pleaser then. So yeah, and I hope you actually watch this whole video and you have literally 1% of what I'm going through. It's a very vocal and raw video again. There's no video clips, there's no heavy editing because then no how to edit it. I take a moment to just go for it. So yeah, hope everything's gonna turn out, and the next videos, I'm actually really soon gonna try a very fun video, because I'll just drop it after this whole video, because this is just an unexpected video. The videos like this are so unexpected, but actually made me feel so better. I feel so much better. I hope you do feel so much better, because this is a sign to actually, I don't believe that anything happens for like not absolutely no reason. I always believe something or some place or some words really justify what you are going through. And if this video has the power to actually go to the right people, I will be so much happy. So yeah, bye.